How did you outfox your ex in family court? He thought he had everything perfectly staged when he brought his mother to testify. She'd always hated me, calling me the woman who trapped her golden boy, and now she sat in the courtroom like a martyr, ready to convince the judge I was unfit. What none of them anticipated was that for the last 8 months, I'd quietly been working evenings at Willow Creek, the assisted living where his 93-year-old grandmother Eleanor lived. Eleanor was sharper than anyone gave her credit for, and she'd been watching their scheme with growing alarm. While his family treated me like an interloper, Eleanor would slip me envelopes with cash for the kids' allowances and ask about their homework with a sincerity that felt like shame for the rest of her kin. I thought she was merely kind. The afternoon before the hearing, she asked me to stay after my shift. Her roommate was at a bingo session, so we were alone. She opened a bedside drawer and pulled out a fat manila folder and said, "Listen, sweetheart." Her voice was steady, not the tremulous ramble the family pretended she had. They think I'm too frail to know. They whisper, they coach, they plan. I hear it all. Inside the folder was a treasure trove, printouts of messages between Daniel and his mother, Margaret, mapping how to shape a narrative about my supposed instability. Screenshots of him asking ex-colleagues to post glowing yet false character statements in exchange for payment. Voice texts from his sister detailing phrases for witnesses to use to make me seem volatile. But the key piece was a plain digital recording Eleanor had made on an old bedside recorder. She'd pretended to be napping while Daniel paced his little speech in her room, and she recorded every word. The audio captured him admitting he'd invent stories about me drinking around the children, feigning neglect, and coaching others to lie. "I just need to sound convincing," he said on the tape. "The judge won't catch everything. Mom's testimony will finish it. Then I can walk away and stop the support." My hands shook when she handed me the folder. Terror and a fierce calculation battled inside me. Court day came and Daniel looked impossibly calm in his tailored suit, surrounded by a polished legal team. Margaret sat primly in the front row, pearls and all, eyes fixed on me like a hawk. Their lawyer began, painting me as a ticking emotional time bomb, trotting out photographs selectively cropped, statements from neighbors, and a timeline of alleged incidents post-separation. Margaret delivered her rehearsed performance with surgical precision. How I'd always been reckless. How I'd lost control around the children. How her son was the stable parent. She even staged a few tears at the poignant moments. The judge, Judge Alvarez, took notes and nodded. I felt everything collapse. Then my attorney rose with a quiet smile and said, "Your Honor, we would like to call a rebuttal witness." The room's air shifted. "Who is the witness?" the judge asked. "Eleanor Hartman, the respondent's grandmother." The look on Daniel's face was a mix of confusion and then dawning horror as a care aide wheeled Eleanor into the courtroom. Margaret's composure fractured. Eleanor pushed up her glasses, looked straight at Judge Alvarez with crystalline focus, and declared, "Your Honor, I raised that boy, and I will not lie. I have evidence showing he coached witnesses to commit perjury." The bailiff accepted the manila folder from her hands. As the judge reviewed the emails and texts and listened to snippets of the recording through headphones, Daniel whispered furiously to his lawyer, but the damage was done. Judge Alvarez's pen slowed, then stopped. She fixed Daniel with a look that removed his smugness and replaced it with something like contempt. "This court does not reward manufactured testimony," she said, voice cold. "Perjury and witness tampering are serious." She awarded me full custody on the spot, granted Daniel only supervised visitation pending further investigation, and ordered a forensic accounting after discovering evidence he had concealed income. His mother left the courtroom in stunned silence and hasn't spoken to us since. As we filed out, Eleanor reached across and squeezed my hand, her eyes warm. "Those children deserve better than lies," she murmured, and gave me a conspiratorial wink that felt like the last piece of justice we'd been waiting for.